What's up guys, it's Cody here, and today in this video we're going to be talking about the top 15 different tips, tricks, and Easter eggs that we have here for the brand new Nintendo Switch. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So if you were like me and you just started immediately playing Zelda right when you got the Nintendo Switch, then you probably didn't go through the settings at all. But if you do go into the settings, you can see here that you can scroll down here to themes and change your theme from basic white to basic black. This is going to give you a dark mode on your menu UI on your Nintendo Switch, and in my opinion it just looks a whole lot better. And not only does it look better, it's actually a whole lot easier on the eyes when you're playing at night. Now the next tip here for the Nintendo Switch is to get a micro SD card. So if you guys don't know, the Nintendo Switch only comes with 32 gigs of storage, which is not a lot when we're talking about a gaming console. So for instance, in comparison to my PS4 Pro, I have 1 TB of storage. Now, granted, the PS4 Pro is going to play a whole lot more demanding games than the Nintendo Switch, but there are already games coming out and that are going to be released very soon for the Nintendo Switch that won't actually fit on the device. Just that one game, just because it's more than 32 gigs. So I know that I'll be picking one up just from Amazon. I'll put some links in the description below for you guys to just click on. That way you can check out some micro SD cards for yourself. And if you guys didn't know, the SD card slot is actually located directly under the kickstand on the back of the Nintendo Switch, as you can see right here. Now with the Joy-Con, if you put on the wrist strap right here, then you can see there's only one way to put this on. So you slide it on, and it's actually kind of difficult to get on. It's not very smooth. But you can see that that one went on correctly. But I put this one on the wrong way, just to show you guys that, first of all, it's really hard to get off if you don't know how to take it off. So the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you have this in the unlocked position. So just pull on this to make sure that it clicks. And then you're going to want to look in right here and you'll actually see 2 little teeth. So you're going to want to get something that's pretty thin to push those teeth down. Once you push those teeth down, it's really simple. You just slide your wrist strap right back off the way that you put it on. Next, if you plan on traveling with your device, then I definitely recommend getting a traveling case. This way you're not getting it all scratched up if you're sticking it in your bag, pulling it out of your bag, and you don't want to scratch up the screen or anything like that. Definitely getting a traveling case is going to be the way to go. I found a pretty cheap one that I plan on purchasing on Amazon. I think it's about 10 to 12 bucks. So I'll put a link in the description below for you guys to check that out as well. Now, speaking of protecting your Switch, there's a very real issue where people are docking their Switch into their dock and actually scratching the screen as they slide it into the dock and pulling it out, even when they're being extremely careful. So this is something that you can remedy with a very simple screen protector on your Nintendo Switch. Now the one that I ordered, I'll link in the description below. Again, it's about 11 bucks, so it's pretty cheap. It's tempered glass, and I think it's gonna be the best bang for your buck. Plus it's like the highest rated on Amazon. So if you guys wanna check that out as well, if you don't wanna get scratches on your screen, definitely check the link in the description below. Now every time that you wake up your Switch, you are presented with a screen that tells you to press the same button 3 times. So most of the time, almost everybody is gonna probably just hit that A button 3 times or that B button 3 times just to get through that screen because they're wanting to play Zelda or Bomberman. Probably not Bomberman as much as Zelda, but Zelda, without ever really thinking about it. But there are some buttons on the Switch that are gonna give you a different soundbite. So you can see those right here. The way I personally unlock my device is by using that right Z bumper every time, just because I like that soundbite a whole lot better. Sometimes even if I forget and just hit the A button, I'll go back and unlock it with the right Z bumper just because, I don't know, I'm crazy. But bonus points for anybody that can tell me what those sound bites are from in the comments below. Now after getting the Switch, it was actually quite a bit smaller than I thought it was gonna be. So those Joy-Cons just are very tiny for my hands. And for me, it's just not very comfortable for my hands to be cramped up if I put those Joy-Cons in the controller dock that the Nintendo Switch comes with. So if you're used to, using like a PlayStation controller or, a Xbox controller, or any controller really for that matter, that's like a gamepad, then you're probably gonna wanna pick up the Gamepad Pro, which I already did on Amazon. It's actually pretty expensive for a controller. It's like 70 bucks, which was kind of a downside of picking these up, but the Joy-Cons are like 79 bucks right now. So the controllers for the Switch are just expensive. That's just something you're gonna have to deal with if you're gonna purchase another controller. So if you guys wanna check out the Pro, which looks a whole lot more comfortable, I'm gonna have mine in a couple of days. I haven't actually gotten it yet, but I did get hands-on with one and I like it a whole lot better. So if you guys wanna check that out, a link in the description below will be there for you. Now, if you don't wanna spend 70 bucks on a Gamepad Pro and you don't like the feel of the Joy-Con grip that the Switch comes with, then I have a controller mod for you. Now the only thing you'll have to purchase here is like a $5 screwdriver, maybe even cheaper if you can find one that's just one screwdriver. I'll look on Amazon, see if I can link you guys one, but I'll show you here that all you have to do is unscrew these screws in the back. These are called tri-wing screwdrivers. And you'll also need a Phillips head here to take out the tiny screws. But essentially what this process is going to allow you to do is take off the grips of the Joy-Con controller grip. So it'll still feel like a controller, it just doesn't have the grips on the back, which actually make the controller feel a whole lot better in my opinion. This is the way that I've been using my device, and it's just a whole lot better. Now by default, when you turn on your Nintendo Switch for the first time, you're just going to see that battery icon in the top right hand corner. Now you can actually get the battery percentage just by going into your settings, scrolling all the way down to system, and then turning on battery percentage. Now if you don't want it on all the time, then you can actually just tap on the battery with your finger on the Switch, and it's going to give you that battery percentage. Now another way to do that, if you don't want to smudge up your screen or anything like that, then you can take the ZL button and the ZR button, the little bumpers on the bottom and the back, then you can tap those at the exact same time, and that's going to give you the battery percentage for your device. So that's just a nifty little trick to have handy in case you don't want to keep your battery percentage on at all times. So you can just quickly look at it by hitting those two bumpers. Next, dbrand actually put a post on Reddit stating that the Nintendo Switch as a console, as well as the Joy-Con controllers, should not be skinned. This is because they just do not react well to the adhesive, and they start to tear and actually deteriorate the controller, as well as pull off the paint for the Nintendo Switch on the back of the dock. So if you see anybody selling these skins online on Amazon or anywhere else, just don't purchase them, just because you don't want to ruin the integrity of your device just for a couple of skins that you're probably going to take off at some point anyways. So again, do not buy any skins for the Nintendo Switch because they are just basically not compatible. Now if you guys didn't know, the Switch has a 4,310 milliamp hour battery. So that's actually a pretty decent battery for the size of the device, but at the same time, if you're playing games on it non-stop, that's not going to last very long. So Nintendo actually says that you can game on the Switch from 3 to 6 hours, depending on the graphics of the game and how much horsepower you're actually needing to play whatever specific game that you're playing. So if you're playing Zelda mobile and you're on your Switch with your Joy-Cons connected right here, just like this, then you're only going to get about 3 hours of battery life. So if you're traveling, then you're probably going to want to get a battery pack in order to charge this beast. So the battery pack that I have right here is a monster. It's 36,000 milliamp hours, which means you can actually charge your Nintendo Switch 8.3 times, which converts to 25 hours of playtime on your Switch. Not to mention the previous 3 hours that you already have if your Switch is already charged. So you're getting 28 hours of playtime without having to be near an outlet. So pretty much you're not going to run out of battery if you get a battery pack like this. So if you don't want this battery pack per se, just because of, let's say, the price, or you just don't want one this big, then you can check out any of the other battery packs that has a USB-C adapter. So that's what you have to have in order to charge your Switch. So if you want to check out some other ones that may be a little bit cheaper than the one that I have, I'll put some links in the description below for you guys to check out. Next, if you're in game and you hold down the home button, then you're going to get a little slide out menu that's going to give you a lot of helpful information. So you can see here that you can actually check your battery percentage, and you can also use that little bumper trick that I mentioned previously to give you the battery percentage. You'll also see if you're connected to Wi-Fi, it'll give you the time. You can go directly into sleep mode if you want to select that. Also right below that you have auto brightness, so you can turn on or off and then adjust the brightness right below that. And you can also select your airplane mode if you want to turn that on. So for me, it's a whole lot easier to have those quick settings right there, allowing me to go directly into sleep mode rather than having to, jump out to the menu and then go down to the power menu and then select it and then go to sleep mode. Not to mention checking your battery is a whole lot easier this method as well, rather than jumping out of the game and then going back into the game. Now, if you like to use the kickstand on the Switch and have your controller out when you're out in mobile, then one of the bad things about this is that you can't charge your device the same time that you have your device on a kickstand, just because the charging port is right on the bottom and the kickstand is obviously going to be right there on the table or desk or whatever you're playing on. So you're not going to be able to get your charging cable into the charging port without like propping it up or getting a dock. So if you guys plan on playing your Switch out mobile and you don't like to have the controllers on the Switch itself, then you're probably going to want to look at getting a dock. And these docks are actually pretty cheap, so I'll put a link in the description for the one that I'm actually going to get. So if you have a Nintendo Switch right now, then you probably have Zelda. If you don't have Zelda, you're probably looking to get Zelda just because it's the best game that's out right now for the Nintendo Switch, and it's probably one of the best games that's going to be coming out this year. So these last two tips are just specific to Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, if you guys don't know, there's these things called Amiibos, which is something that's actually new to me because I didn't play much on the Wii or the Wii U. So these are little, basically, action figures that you can scan onto your console, and then those characters actually affect what happens in the game that you're currently playing. So to make a little bit more sense out of that, there is a Smash Brothers Link figure that's an Amiibo, and if you have that and you scan it for your Nintendo Switch, then you actually get Epona, the horse. If you guys don't know who Epona is, get out now. No, I'm just kidding, but it's the horse from the previous Zeldas. And I don't know about the other horses in the game, but Epona has max stats, like on speed, everything is max stats. So again, I haven't beaten the game yet, so I don't know about the other horses if they can get max stats as well. But for me, I need Epona in my game. It just has to happen. That's gonna happen. So you can just buy these little characters like I was talking about, the Amiibos, on Amazon. This one is about like 10 bucks, I think. So in my opinion, it's worth it. This is one of the cheaper ones. There's actually another one, and that's to get Wolf Link. So if you get the Wolf Link Amiibo, then if you scan that on your Nintendo Switch for Zelda Breath of the Wild, then you're actually going to get the Wolf Link to run beside you and like fight with you and everything. So that's pretty cool. Now with Epona, you can save her and you never have to scan your Amiibo again. But with the Wolf Link can die, and you will have to rescan it every time that Wolf Link dies. So that's just something to keep in mind. Again, links to both of those Amiibos will be down in the description below. Alright guys, that's all I got for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the tips and tricks. If you did, make sure you hit that like button on this video. It really helps me out. Of course, share it with your friends. Anybody that has a Nintendo Switch, I'm sure they'll be thankful for it. Now, of course, if you guys want to see more of my videos, then make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.